It is so easy to build our days around quick wins. We spend our time rushing from task to task, checking off lists, answering emails, and swiping for that immediate hit of satisfaction. You can think of this everyday routine like building a small house. It is practical, it goes up on a predictable schedule, we put in the work to get a good grade, earn a paycheck, or get a quick thumbs up online, and then we move right on to the next house. But there is another way to work, a much, much harder way. Imagine dedicating a decade of your life to a single massive cathedral. You work in total silence, entirely alone, laying stone after stone in the dark. There is absolutely no guarantee your work will ever be finished, or that anyone will ever understand what you tried to do. 3 of the most brilliant mathematical minds in history, Andrew Wiles, Yitang Zhang, and Grigori Perelman, chose exactly this path. They walked away from the reliable rewards of normal life to lock on to singular, seemingly impossible targets. By surviving years of isolation, public failure, and deep poverty, these men demonstrated what the mind is capable of when it focuses entirely on a goal, rather than seeking the approval of others. Andrew Wiles knew that telling his colleagues what he was working on would invite constant questions and skepticism that could derail him, so he made a radical choice. He retreated to his attic and spent 7 years working in complete, uninterrupted secrecy. He was hunting Fermat's last theorem, an equation claiming no positive whole number solutions. For 358 years, it haunted academics because Fermat scribbled in a book margin that he had a proof, but the margin was too small. Every genius failed to recreate it, until Wiles emerged. In 1993, he stepped up to a chalkboard in Cambridge, delivered a massive, elegant proof, and stunned the academic world. Then, the peer review process began. Elite reviewers closely checked his 200-page manuscript, and they found a deep structural flaw in the math. After 7 years of secret sacrifice, Wiles was suddenly failing in full view of the world. The pressure to quit was immense. Instead, Wiles swallowed his pride and reached out to a former student for help. Working together, they resurrected an old mathematical tool Wiles had abandoned years earlier. Within a few weeks, they successfully repaired the gap. We spend so much energy terrified of looking foolish in front of our peers. Wiles showed that reaching the summit requires humility to admit when your foundation is cracked, and the courage to ask for help to fix it. While Wiles risked his reputation from a comfortable university position, Yitang Zhang experienced a different trial. He was entirely discarded by his industry. A toxic fallout with his graduate advisor left Zhang without the vital recommendation letters needed to survive in academia. He balanced ledgers, made sandwiches at a sub shop, and lived out of his car. Yet his mind never left the work. While assembling sandwiches, he quietly chipped away at one of the oldest mysteries in numbers. This animation shows what he was trying to solve. On this massive number line, you can see prime numbers lighting up. As the numbers get larger, primes get further and further apart. Zhang wanted to prove that no matter how far out you go into infinity, there will always be pairs of primes separated by a specific, bounded distance. In 2013, completely out of nowhere, he submitted his proof. The mathematical community was floored. At age 58, Zhang transitioned overnight from an unknown lecturer into a global celebrity, earning a MacArthur Genius Grant worth over $600,000. It is easy to look at successful people and feel anxious that we are falling behind. Zhang proves that extreme, quiet patience is a highly effective strategy. A brilliant mind can outlast the harshest wilderness. Grigori Perelman faced a different barrier. He spent his career navigating a research system he felt was deeply political and ethically broken. To protect his focus, he effectively cut off contact with the outside world. He lived in a tiny apartment in St. Petersburg on a meager salary, dedicating himself entirely to a puzzle known as the Poincare conjecture. This 100-year-old mathematical problem asked whether any shape that lacks holes can be smoothly deformed into a perfect sphere. Perelman discovered how to mathematically cut out the irregularities in space, allowing the geometry to fold perfectly. He skipped the traditional, slow process of publishing in elite journals. Instead, he simply uploaded his work directly to a public internet archive, giving the world the solution to a century-old mystery for free. The establishment rushed to catch up. They spent years verifying his incredibly complex math and quickly prepared their highest honors to reward him. Perelman isolated himself not out of fear, but out of strict moral purity. He refused to let career advancement taint his thought process. When he was offered the legendary $1 million Millennium Prize for his work, Perelman did the unthinkable. He publicly rejected the money, stating that the system's decision to single him out was deeply unfair to the mathematicians who came before him. He resigned from his institute and retreated into complete obscurity. He chose a quiet life with a net worth of zero, simply because he had already solved the puzzle. The work itself was the only reward he ever wanted. We live in an era defined by constant distraction, fragile egos, and a desperate hunger for external validation. But these 3 lives show us that the deepest achievements don't come from chasing instant rewards or dodging failure. True success is defined by what you are willing to patiently endure in the dark. If you want to build something that lasts, you have to stop worrying about the rain, lay the first stone, and embrace the silence.